So, as we all probably know by now, I'm like 2 months late, but the Zelda franchise is getting a movie. Now, you probably had one of two reactions to this news. Either you're really excited about it, or you're really confused. There's no in between. So, which camp do I fall into? Well, at first I was kind of happy for a Zelda movie. I saw the success of the Mario movie, and I wanted that same success for my favorite video game franchise, Zelda. The problem is, the new Zelda movie will be live action instead of animated. This is my biggest gripe with the movie so far, and we haven't even gotten a trailer yet. I truly don't understand the thought process behind making a Zelda movie with real people. There's a strong fantasy aspect to Zelda, and I worry that the movie will end up coming off a bit goofy. This would have been the perfect opportunity for an animated movie, which would allow for more creative freedom. I know people always talk about a Zelda and Ghibli crossover, and while I don't think Miyazaki or Ghibli would ever agree to it, they definitely could have found a studio willing to put in the same time and effort to create a visual masterpiece. But alright, since it's a live action film I guess, who are they going to cast? I don't know how I feel about Link and Zelda being associated with a real person's face. Especially right now, I don't need Link's image being tainted because some rando decided to get cancelled for something diabolical. It's not a good look. And frankly, I'm surprised Nintendo is actually going through with this. There may be something else going on that we just don't know about yet. I already saw some people fan casting Hunter Schafer as Zelda, which, visually, I think she fits. I know nothing about her, so I can't really speak on whether or not this would actually be a good choice. I also saw some people saying Tom Holland should be Link, which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Tom Holland, but if he actually becomes Link, I just might. I think casting anyone too famous or recognizable, for Link and Zelda specifically, might be a bit of a problem. It was one thing to use big actors like in the case of the Mario movie, because it was just their voice. When watching the movie, I wasn't really thinking about Chris Pratt or Anya Taylor-Joy. But, while I'm actively looking at Tom Holland, aka Spider-Man's face, yeah, it would absolutely ruin the immersion in my opinion. I personally would like to see someone unknown, or at least relatively unknown, play their characters. But hey, whatever brings in the most money, right? Going back to the fantasy aspect of Zelda, why do I get the feeling that Ritos, Zoras, and Gorons will either look insanely goofy or even slightly off-putting in a live-action setting? Like, really picture live-action Gorons. What does that even look like? This is why I really don't understand the push for live action. This really should have been an animated film, but whatever. Aside from the live action aspect, let's think about the plot of the movie itself. Now apparently this movie will be produced by Avi Arad and written by Derek Connolly. And now if you're anything like me, this meant absolutely nothing to you. But apparently these guys don't have the best track record. I feel like I say this in almost every video, but really Nintendo? You guys have the funds to have only the best of the best working on this movie, but this is who you choose? I don't understand. On the flip side, the movie will be directed by Wes Ball, and he has gone on record saying he doesn't want the movie to be like Lord of the Rings, and instead it will be like a live-action Miyazaki. I still don't really know what that means, but it definitely sounds like he's heading in the right direction. The main plot-related question I have is, will this be an original movie or not? I personally would like the movie to at least loosely follow the plot of one of the many Zelda games. I mean, there's like 20 of them to choose from. This really isn't that big of an ask. If I had to guess which one they would choose, I would probably have to say Breath of the Wild, even though that wouldn't be my personal choice. It's the series' biggest game and they could definitely make a lot of money off of it, which is of course the goal. What characters would be present? I kind of hope we get the whole Link and Zelda versus Ganondorf trope, and when I say Ganondorf, I mean Ganondorf. I really would like to see Ganondorf and not Ganon. Well, Ganondorf can transform into Ganon, but I would mainly like to hear Ganondorf's perspective throughout the movie. Also, will Link speak? Part of me hopes he doesn't, just to keep tradition. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some lines, because it would be kind of awkward for a grown man to just stand around saying nothing in like 99% of their scenes. I really don't know how I feel about Link being associated with a voice other than... For the rest of the characters, I think it depends on where the story takes place. If they were to mainly follow the story of Breath of the Wild, I would of course expect to see the champions and the characters associated with their backstories. But just like the Mario movie, I would also like to see random characters from other Zelda games just for the fun of it, or maybe even a reference to another Zelda game just as an Easter egg to the actual Zelda fans. Which kind of leads me to a question that I had for this movie and the Mario movie. Who is this movie meant for? Is it for the fans? Is it for kids? Or is it for the general public? For the Mario movie, I felt as though it was something cute for the lifelong fans and kids. I think the general public could get into it as well, as most people know the general plot and characters of most Mario games. However, Zelda isn't as mainstream, and that is also what worries me. How will they market it to a larger audience? I feel like there may be changes to appease a wider variety of people, which will ultimately upset the actual fans of the game. Of course, it's too early to say this, but again, I feel like the live-action format just puts too many constraints on the movie, which may or may not lead to its downfall. Of course, I wouldn't want the movie to fail, as I would love to see more video game-based movies in the future. I don't know how this movie will turn out, and honestly, I'm kind of scared. But to be honest, I've been kind of scared for the state of the Zelda franchise for the last couple years, so nothing can really faze me at this point. Let me know how you feel about this new live-action Zelda movie in the comments. Do you think it should have been animated or not? And what do you think the plot will look like? Thank you for watching, my name is Andy and I hope to see you in the next video.